of Please Hold. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Jarrell Rosales.
Jarrell Rosales. Okay, so the film was about a condom breaking during a random hookup, and Danny gets an HIV test, and an unexpected new friend, and this is kind of cool for me, because I'm also a voiceover actor. So what we're going to do is, I have some questions, but feel free to raise your hand in between and ask a question. Jarrell, tell me more about the voiceover's significance about setting the pace and also the tone, because sometimes it was friendly, brotherly love, and then other times it was more solemn, like, I can't help you, man. So the voiceover, that's why it was a really relatable film to me, because it was very voiceover driven. Can you talk about the significance, how it set the tone?
I think it's partially just my personality. Like when things get really serious, I start like nervously joking around and cracking up jokes, even though it's like totally awkward. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. So.
Mic number 3.
It's partially my personality that I weirdly joke around and I probably shouldn't. And the other part is just my actor working through with both the actors, working through the nuances of their conversations.
Okay. Questions? Yep, and I'll come around because we are taping this for our YouTube channel. Wave hi everybody, and I'll just come out to you so we can get the audio. And yes, hey, what's up?
I just have a quick question for that, especially for the voiceover Logan. I was wondering, like, is he actually listening the entire time when, like, it looks like a long passage of time, like, you know, for him to be on the phone the very first time, even just like listening the whole story of his mom and his childhood, because it seems like a long passage of time. Is that, do you feel like Daniel in some way knows? I always thought that was maybe there's a relationship behind them before the phone call, or is it a completely random person that you set his character for?
Well, when I don't know, maybe this is me, but when I talk to myself, in the back of my mind, I kind of just assume someone else is listening besides me, but I'm weird, so I don't know. But that's an interesting interpretation that could be right. I'm super big today, I'm sorry.
And you share with us a little where you just came from too, because this film did not just screen here. You came from another screening with...
Oh yeah, I just came from another screening, but my feature film just came out, and so it's playing at the Lemley this weekend.
Oh, okay, great. And is it also a LGBTQ film?
No.
Okay, that's fine too.
I mean, I have to think about it. In my mind, I guess it always is.
Towards the final scene, if we can replay it, I like the camera angle when he's crying over the bed. The cross is softly lit in the background, and he's more in the foreground. Was that intentional, or did that just happen to be where the camera was placed?
Which scene?
When he's crying over the bed, towards the end of the film. It was more of a blue hue. Do you guys kind of remember that? Okay, I just pinpointed that out, and I really liked it. It was something intentional, or...
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the whole movie's incredibly intentional visually. Me and the DP worked really hard about trying to place the camera in a way that was purposely obscuring his face. So that you see a lot of stuff behind his head, to the side, and you hardly ever really see the front of his face. And when you do, it's when you get his test results. But that was all. And I think there's something a little more powerful about like not seeing exactly what you want to see. I was experimenting with that. I guess it worked. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of test results, I'm going to switch mics with you here. It looks like this one's nice and hot for the panel here. That's great. Okay. Speaking of test results, can you tell us what the test results were? Or was it, or I'm not going to spoil your work, like if you're a magician, I'm not going to ask you how'd you do it, but do we know the results, or can you tell us the results?
Oh, I will say, we filmed that ending 3 times. The first time I made him do it where it was a positive, the second time I made him do it, it's a negative, and the third time I had him do it where I just told him. I wrote a note in there for him, and then that's the take we used.
Okay, all right. I'll take all three answers. And then finally,
I mean, sorry. It's in my mind at least. The test results aren't as important as the realistic.
You agree? Yeah.
And that's my thing. It's you know what I mean.
Finally, if you could, if you could relate to the audience and your future screenings of this film, one thing that you would like to say to them, what would it be about this film? Just one thing, sum it up.
Oh, this whole movie? That, if I could just sum up this whole movie and I hope you walk away with something about it, it's that there's connection in everything. Even when you feel super alone, there's somewhere to find connection to.
Wow. And that's a wrap, folks. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody. Jerome Gonzalez, please hold it. Let's actually jump to the end, just so we can not be so lateral, so linear, right? And let's go ahead and meet our.
Actually, I'm a composer.
Yes. Okay. So please pronounce your name for us.
Okay. My name is Ayumu Minezawa.
Okay.
I'm a composer of Abi's movie called Lola Divas.
And for those that don't speak Tagalog, and I know Tagalog may not be your native tongue, but what does Lola stand for in Tagalog?
Lola stands for grandmother.
And you are?
And my name is Abby Prieto, and I'm the director of Lola Divas.
Okay. Thank you for coming, and it's great that a composer is here as well. Do we have any questions before we dive into some of my reporter questions? There was a few great quotes, in fact, a lot, and I appreciated the closed captions because it was just fun to be able to picture it and also see it. One of them was, on and off stage, I'm completely opposite. This film is about portraying, even though they're outcasted in the Filipino culture for some, they still have a place, they still have a home. And one of the performers said on and off stage, it's completely opposite. Can you elaborate on that?
So, I'm gonna share my experience. Like when I was with them, the first thing we did was we shot their performance and the interviews on stage. I actually have 2 different interviews for each character. One where they're all dressed up, and one where you're in their homes and you see them without any makeup on. And it's really like 2 different worlds, and their personalities are really different. At home, they're more like quiet, they're by themselves. Instead of like, when you see them performing, they really enjoy it, they really like what they're doing. For me, I'm sorry, what was the question?
The question, well, just kind of elaborate,
Yeah.
like you experienced it, how they were quiet at home, and then when they're on stage performing, they're not quiet. Well, was that a really cool kind of revelation to see?
Yeah, I got surprised because it's very fun to interview them, and my cameraman, my sound operator, we would like hold our giggles because like when they say something funny, of course you don't want for them to hear it because it's their interview. You don't want to ruin that, but it's such a humbling experience for me because like I went there and I said, oh, these are the oldest drag queens in Manila. And for
You
me,
went to Manila to film this?
Yes, I did.
And where are you from in your family?
I'm from the Philippines.
Okay, from Manila also?
Yes, from Manila.
Okay, so it's just like going back home.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, wonderful.
And like, so when I went there, I said, this is like a tribute to them. It's me finally celebrating them and like honoring what they're doing. But throughout the whole, like even just the first week of interviews and first week of shoot, it's like they changed me more than I changed them. And it was such a great journey, not just for the film and for the whole crew, but also for me, because it opened my eyes to like how we're more alike, how we're all connected. And that was something that I carry until now, that experience.
You bring up a good point, and I can say this when they're on the news. Yeah, sure. We have a question right here. Now, I'll elaborate on this. All our lives, we're fighting that we're Asian, right? And I actually have a background of working with people with disabilities, and the point is that you don't say he's a handicapped person. He's a person with disabilities. And so to tag that on about being part of the LGBTQ community, it's you are Abby, you are Ayumu, that is in the drag community. You know, it's how you address the person, and I think that's kind of where, fortunately, the community and the society is going towards, that we're slowly realizing that it's not just, oh, you're a drag queen. No, it's, I am Steven and I do drag. Does that make sense, everybody? Let's have this question here.
Hello. The idea of Lola Divas, how did that come about? Was it something that you were a part of in coming up with a concept? And yeah, so if you can just answer that.
Yeah, it was, okay, I wanted to make, this is like a first film for me, like even though I had like films in school, so this was something that I said to myself, it's gonna hopefully like give a name to myself. So it's like, for me, I said I want to highlight the Filipino culture. I want to introduce them to the, not just to remind the people from the Philippines of who we are, our identity, our culture. I want to also share that well. And so for me, I said, okay, documentaries. In my country, when you say documentary, they say, oh, it's all interviews, it's so serious, maybe they say boring. But for me, I said, okay, I want to highlight Filipinos as hardworking, resilient individuals, and family-oriented. And at the same time, I want a documentary to be entertaining. And I've done my research. Like, it's very important to do research, especially like in documentaries, because it's not just about, I mean, you're not hiring any actors. These are like real stories of real people. And why is there, you have to ask why their story is worth telling, worth sharing. So for me, I got, like, pre-production was very difficult. I had to really interview them, and I was here and they were in the Philippines, so it's all interviews, getting to know them. And from there, that's where you start visualizing, that's where you start writing and doing the story arc, doing all the homework. So there.
Do we have any questions for you, the composer? Well, before we go to the next film, here's just some fun quotes to kind of wrap up what you were talking about, showcasing the Filipino culture. One of them says, love us, love your Lola Divas, your uncle just might be your aunt. And that's true, because I have an Uncle Barry and Auntie Richard. Also, this is great for us too. If you love something, do it, regardless of your sexual preference. And just some good quotes that I really liked again. I appreciated the closed captioning. And yes, go ahead, please.
Just want to add something. Like, I want to leave, like, it's not just focus on the LGBT, but like a bigger message that I want to share is like, we all have something great to offer to this world, and it starts by accepting who we are.
Well put. Lola Divas, let's give them a round of applause. And Yumi, thank you for coming again. Yumi. Okay, and let's meet our last film from Crossing Bridges. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Ram. I'm the director of Crossing Bridges.
Correct. And all right, so a man confronts his insecurities, and as he reflects on his experience as a gay Asian man and immigrant with the help of his family and friends. We always appreciate a biographical about coming out. This was obviously a personal. When you had the option of Australia and Canada, okay, you said you chose Canada because it's the furthest from home. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, actually, I'm from Indonesia, so a lot of my friends growing up, they all went to Singapore or Australia. It's really close from home, so there's a lot of also, what they ended up doing is like they don't really push themselves outside of their comfort zone, because there's a lot of Indonesians in Singapore and Australia. So the reason why initially I wanted to go to Canada was because then I wouldn't know anyone, I'll push myself to speak English, and little did I know know, it was also a blessing in disguise that being in Canada, being gay is more accepted, and there's more resources, and it was a chance for me to remove myself from the Indonesian culture and to sort of, throughout the film and stuff, to regain my sense of culture and my sense of identity and to embrace them all in me.
Now, let's say Canada didn't have a gay scene in Toronto, right? Because that's where you ended up at. How would all this have been different?
I think it would have been really different. I think I would have been more closeted. I think the fact that there are LGBT communities, even the clubs or, you know, like community services and stuff, it really helped me to sort of figure out myself. Had it not been there, it would have been a different experience for me. I would have maybe tried to, I don't know, like, you know, express, or probably like suppress myself even more. And yeah, I think, you know, having community is really important because it really helps us to sort of understand ourselves and experiment and explore.
Feel free to raise your hand. Any questions? So this was about you. You shot a film directed about you. Yes. And I'll finish that one, but please go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are we able to? I had a question about. Please hold.
Yep.
But,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
real quick.
We'll jump back.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me. In the scene where there's a train passing by, right at the beginning when the car's hopping up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have to get that in one single take, or did you like try it several times and have to wait for another train? And second question is, in order to make that car hop as much as it did, what did you do?
The answer I want to give you is I had someone cue a train, but honestly, that was just straight up luck that a train just passed by right there. Because I just held on the shot with that car bouncing for a while, but it's just a dude. It's just a dude in there bouncing, making the motions of it.
Okay, and did you have them do it like really exaggerated to just make it hop that much?
Yeah. I mean, like, if you don't do it enough, it's like you don't believe it because it doesn't bounce as much, you know what I mean? You gotta get like a good bounce, so someone's gotta be in there to really thrust. So there is that.
Rama, I wanted to ask you. Oh, question? Yeah. Please interrupt me. This is your Q&A, guys. Please.
No, I just wanted to know. Excuse me, it's Rami, right? Rami? Yes. Okay. What inspired you to turn your story into a short documentary?
It was actually part of my master thesis. I went to Ryerson University to do my master's in media production, and initially I wanted to tell a story about the gay community, ethnic gay community actually, because I see that there's a lack of films for Asians and minorities out there. Most of the gay films out there now that are in blockbusters and whatnot, it all tells stories mostly about like white gay men, or like, you know, and so but going into the program, I didn't know anything at all about filmmaking, so my professor kind of encouraged me to tell my own story, but I was really insecure about it because I didn't know anything about filmmaking, and so I didn't want to tell a story about myself actually. Even when I went into production, I was still in the back of my head, I'm going to tell a story about my friends and my families and these communities that, you know, helped me along the way. And little did I know that it was kind of pushing me away from telling my own story. But when I shot it and then when I edited and whatnot, my professor kept on telling me, you need to cut, you know, these general stories and to focus on your own story. And it was really hard for me, and not until later that I researched more about, you know, Asian culture, and kind of give me a sense of understanding that being Asian, I can say that we prioritize more about the family, about the community, and it's so hard to come back into ourselves and sort of embrace ourselves. And that was the whole journey throughout the filmmaking, is that I needed to do that for myself, and I wish that, you know, like with my journey, it would kind of encourage everyone else to sort of dig deep into themselves and, you know, being able to embrace themselves.
You beat me. That was my threefold question, actually. So great for opening them up. I'm serious. I had all the lists. Any more questions? We can go back to either film. Remember, on your ticket acts as a voting ballot, so make sure you tear it out. On your way out, head to the box office. Want to remind everybody that we, of course, have our Facebook page. Get to your question, absolutely. And then also, go ahead, you can...
We do have two people asking.
Use the mic so we can get the audio for our YouTube. And then also our awards ceremony party on Sunday in the Art District. I think the address is Mateo Street, 215, but double check. Yes, question?
What's the name of your feature film that's coming out?
It's called High School Lover. It stars James Franco, Francois Arnaud is doing Midnight Texas for NBC, and Julia Jones from Twilight, Lana Condor from X-Men Apocalypse. It's playing at the Lemley this weekend, but it's going to be on Lifetime on February 4th, 8 p.m. Sorry, I sound like a weird, right big deal.
Shameless plug, but we got that on film, and this is going to be posted on our YouTube.
So please
Is he a plant?
Thank you for helping me.
This question is for the composer of
Lola Divas.
Lola Divas.
Ayumu.
Yeah. So when you compose the music, that's what you did? You composed the music of the film? You composed the music of the film, right? Okay, because sometimes it's so subtle that you don't even realize you're listening to music. But did you essentially get the film without any soundtrack or anything, look at it, and then decide what music you were going to put in each scene? Or did you have music already that you thought would fit the scene and just plugged it in?
Actually, there's no you're talking about temp music, already when I got the cut, are you asking that there's already some music?
Yeah, did you compose new music based on what you were seeing, or did you already have music that you had composed before that you thought would fit the scene?
Oh yeah, some of them actually she used my music from my library. Actually already exists, but some of them are totally new. I just watched the whole movie and then I composed for the music to fit. And then actually she's very clear about what she wants. So she wanna she asked me emotion, what kind of emotion here, and what kind of music she wants. So I composed based on her request, composed for music. And then also, but sometimes she said, after listening to my music, she said, I want to change, I don't like this, it doesn't fit. So, but direction, and again, her direction is always kind of clear. So it's composed for her film because it's kind of clear, and then the emotion what she needs is very clear. So yeah.
And how did you find each other?
We found each other actually when I was in music school. She was also in
NYU. I'm sorry, Abby. Where'd you? Okay, NYU.
Yeah, and then we got a kind of meeting.
Yeah.
Mixing thing. So we met, and then this is the second film project. Yeah.
And back in school, did you? Well, this was your final piece, right? From school. Okay, so were you excited when you first met her, and you were really moved by her film idea right when you met her, or did it kind of occur 2 years later?
Oh, the film about
being her composer. Were you excited to meet her the very first time you met her? I want to use my music in your film. Or did it just kind of progressively over time?
Actually, I think you showed me that you were first one, right? No, actually, I heard her project, what it's about.
Got it,
then
okay.
It was kind of a non-profit organization, NPO of LA, which is for homeless people to give them education.
Mm-hmm.
And the concept of her film was concept of her film was, I thought when I heard the story of it's a promotional film, but when I heard the story, I thought it was very cool, and then I really want to compose for the music, and then she liked my music too, because I let her listen to some of my music, so, and fortunately she really likes it, so it's okay.
It's very okay. Thank you. Any other questions out there, folks? Okay, let's give them a huge round of applause, Asians on Film. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to vote for your balloting outside, and they'll be available for questions. We have a red carpet going on right now, but another screening's happening in 10 minutes. My name is Stephen Chung. Thank you so much for supporting Asians on Film. We'll see you for the next screening, or the red carpet, or the awards ceremony. Thank you again.
Yeah, great.